Hi, welcome to the Rittners Floral School in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm Dr. Steve Rittner, and it's a pleasure to welcome you into one of our classrooms today. The subject, cups and saucers. That's right, cups and saucers. We thought you'd really enjoy this one. And our staff has been very busy producing all kinds of interesting cups and saucers for your enjoyment. What do we mean when we're talking about cup and saucer? Simply the little thing that we generally enjoy drinking our tea or our coffee in. Why do we like them? Because they are wonderful bases to create floral art in. We can do all kinds of beautiful things in here. And the beauty of this is that the designs we make in cups and saucers can be used for all kinds of things. They can be used for Mother's Day. They can be used for a birthday. They can be used as an office gift. They make just a lovely little design to say, I love you to anybody. And they work so well because not only does the recipient end up getting the beautiful flowers, but also when the flowers fade, they get a little keepsake to enjoy and that they can add to their collection. And so we thought it would be kind of fun today to show you a few ideas on cup and saucer designs. You can see we can use just about anything. The only limiting factor as to our cup and saucer really is the size of the stems. Obviously, we can't do this very well if we're using a giant heliconia or a big ginger, although we could possibly cut the flower down and sneak one into one of these things. But for the most part, we're dealing with smaller stems, more delicate stems. And you can see in this first example of a cup and saucer design that we have a very lovely pink gerbera. It's surrounded by some of our miniature carnations and a few of our viburnum. It's beautiful, it's simple. The foliage here is variegated pittosporum. It's a lovely design, certainly one that anybody receiving it would enjoy, have a lovely memory of, and then have that beautiful cup and saucer as a keepsake. What other things do we have here? We've got some very pretty examples of cups and saucers for your enjoyment here. You can use just about anything on these designs. In this particular case, we've got a lovely cup and saucer making use of our alstroemeria, some of our maroon palms, a few of our green athos palms, mostly baker fern here. It's a beautiful design. These things are quick and easy to make. You just throw a few flowers into them. You can't help but come up with something that's going to bring a smile to the recipient's face. Let's look at another example of our cup and saucer designs here, and I'm just shifting one thing around and moving the other thing. Here is another example of a beautiful cup and saucer. Once again, we're using a few alstroemeria in this design, but our alstroemeria here are a lighter color, a lighter kind of white with a little blush in it, some pink roses, a few yellow palms worked in, a little lisianthus, some green athos palms, some baker fern. It's a very pretty little design. Here's another one. We just love this genre of floral art because you can do so much with it. Here is a lovely example of a cup and saucer. And in looking at it, again, we've got a nice mixture of all kinds of things in here. We've got a couple of our Fujis, we've got our green athos palms, some miniature carnations, a little bit of status, yellow palm. It is absolutely exquisite. It's beautiful. And mind you, this isn't using fancy stuff. It's using everyday materials, and yet it gives a very pretty show. Here's another one. Oh, this one is pretty. Let's look at this one. In this particular design, we're using primarily a gerbera as a focal point, orange gerbera. It is surrounded by a nice combination of things, some of our lisianthus in various colors, some of our green athos palms, a little light pink lavender palm here. Very pretty, very nice in terms of our combination of materials. And then here is a lovely cup and saucer. And this one is a little bit more of a seasonal thing because we can play with the seasons of the year when we're doing our cup and saucers as well. In this particular cup and saucer, we're featuring some of our beautiful lilacs which are coming out at the present time when this particular video is being produced. Lilac are awful pretty. They're gorgeous. And you notice we've got some lilac here and here and here, another variety over here, a few of our green athos palms, a few of our pinkish lavender palms, a rose tucked into the back of the design. It's absolutely gorgeous, gives a very pretty effect. Well, I think you can see, my viewer, just from these few examples, you can do so much when it comes to cup and saucer designs. And of course, if we're going to show you cup and saucer designs, it would be kind of fun to also make one too, because these things are so quick and easy and fun to do that we just can't resist making one of these things up in front of you. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little cup and saucer. We already have some foliage in there. Some of our baker fern is placed, a little bit of our variegated pittosporum also in this particular design. Let's take a gerbera. We're going to use a gerbera, a nice big orange gerbera, as a focal point for our design. It's bright, it's bold, it gives a very, very pretty effect. Notice how one flower like this fills up a lot of space very, very fast. We can also offset this with something going to the other side. I've got a little orange lily, and I'm going to angle this slightly backwards in our design. We can make these designs so that they are primarily one-sided, or we can play with them so that they give a two-sided effect. Either way works very, very nice. At this time of the year, we happen to have some incredible viburnum coming out, and so let's work a little bit of our viburnum into the design. The beauty of our viburnum is it's very natural looking, and we can take this stuff and angle it and come up with all kinds of interesting effects. It feels so natural. It feels almost like it's just flowing out of our cup and saucer. And notice with a few pieces of our viburnum how this really makes the design feel so cool. So it doesn't take very, very much of this stuff. And I'm taking a little, working some in one side, working some more over towards the other side of our design. Pardon my back, my viewers, I stick this piece in. We can make these designs, as I said, one-sided or all the way around. We can also make them more symmetrical, more asymmetrical. In other words, we can play with all kinds of motifs when we're dealing with these cup and saucer designs. Now, of course, we want to play with something else that perhaps we haven't used in any of the other cups and saucers that we've shown in this little brief presentation. This happens to be one of my favorite flowers, Trichdianthus. Trichdianthus. It is a wonderful flower. It's very, very pretty. It's green. It's kind of bushy. Kind of reminds me of when I used to have hair. Of course, my hair wasn't green. It was a little bushy, though, when I used to have it. And it's nice material. It is in the Dianthus or carnation family, and it does give a very, very, very neat effect. So let's take a couple of our green Trichdianthus and work them into the design. They fill space very, very quickly. And you'll notice that they tie in so nicely with our green viburnum and give us a very, very pretty effect. Now let's go for a little more contrast. So far we've got orange and green, and we could stop at this point if we wanted to, and it would be perfectly all right. But I'm going to take a few of my palms and use a few daisy palms and just mix them in to our design. And our daisy palms, because they happen to be, in this particular case, a bright yellow, give us a little bit of contrast in the design, a little bit more brightness to our composition. In other words, they make the thing feel a little bit more lively. Of course, what colors and materials you pick will depend not only in terms of the time of the year and availability of product, but also upon the recipient. If you know that somebody loves certain colors or somebody loves certain kinds of materials, you're going to use those materials when you do the cup and saucer for your loved ones or your friends. So you notice that by taking a few of our daisy palms and working them into our mix, we can come up with something that is a little bit brighter, and it also fills the design up very, very nicely for us. And of course, once the flowers go, the person who will get this design ends up enjoying the very fact that they've got that lovely cup and saucer to be able to enjoy and keep as part of their collection. Well, my viewer, what do you think? Cup and saucers, do you like the idea? We sure do. We hope that you've enjoyed this brief presentation from Rittners Floral School. It was a pleasure to have you come in to one of our classrooms today. Go to your closet, go to your shelves, pull up those cups and saucers, start playing with them. Play with all kinds of combinations, whether you take cuttings from your garden, whether you buy floral product from your local florist or mass market, doesn't matter. You can have loads of fun with these kinds of containers and do all kinds of beautiful designs for your enjoyment and also as gifts for people that you care about. On behalf of all of us here at Rittners Floral School, I'm Dr. Steve Rittner. It was a pleasure welcoming you into one of our classrooms today. Do come back and visit with more in our video series. And of course, remember, we do have all kinds of hands-on workshop courses here at Rittners Floral School. On behalf of all of us, we thank you for coming in and visiting with us today.